I would love for you to say that again.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'll put my glasses on so I could see you. My Mrs. Magoo's. Look how thick they are. Where are you? Like, what city are you in?
I'm in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh,
Near the Bull Shoals Lake.
what's the weather there? You have snow?
Right now it's like 50 degrees. Yeah, it's nice out.
Okay, so you don't have snow. I'm trying to think on the calendar. So you have mild weather, winters?
I mean, we have snow, but just not right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on the West Coast in Canada.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, let me just to give you a picture here. I'm going to turn it around. Well, nobody's here. My view,
Wow.
the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. No snow.
That's beautiful.
Hey, Lynda.
Hello, hello.
Hello, lovely.
Good to see you. Yeah, that's
So
a beautiful view.
I get to talk to you about you today.
Yeah,
Oh, you do?
I asked her to come on and do a little testimonial for you, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm always up for those. Snow squalls. I don't even know what a squall is.
Well, you're about to find out.
I hardly even know what snow is.
Snow falling from the sky. It's white stuff instead of wet rain stuff.
Oh,
And then it hinders your being able to see across the road because the wind is picking up the snow and it is blowing it around and it's creating drifts that you have to try to drive through. And sometimes it's icy but your visibility goes down significantly. So it's like a heavy rain but it's white. So it's worse. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
They're calling for that tonight, but I traveled 45 minutes each way for my show today. And honestly, it was worse this morning because there was actually some snow coming down, and this evening coming back, there wasn't any snow. So it was kind of like, I just didn't look at my phone or look outside at all through the show. When the show is over, then I will make my decision about what to do. And, and it was really quite nice, but it was windy. It was nothing I forget what 100 kilometers an hour. Well, for Nikki, she knows it was nothing for me to be doing 100. And it's like, whoa, let off the gas. It's only 80. Yeah. And so I think the wind must have been at my back because it was far too easy to be going up in speed. So,
yeah.
But since sorry.
Christine, when I was young, my father gave me his old Plymouth. And when you get the snow squalls and you get those banks in the street, I just used to floor it.
Go right through. Yeah.
Right through.
Yeah. Well, we have a smaller vehicle as well, and that doesn't have 4-wheel drive, but the bigger one has 4-wheel drive. And I said to my husband, for today, I'm taking the bigger one. I can put everything in the small vehicle for better mileage, but I'm not driving that one today, not with the iffiness of what I was going to encounter. And I'm glad because I had the extra weight and I feel better using the 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive compared to the regular one. So it just
that makes a big difference.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it would be. So because we haven't been home that long, like I haven't been home for half an hour, but I've got some food ready to eat. So I'm just going to take myself off of camera so that you're not watching me, because sometimes I don't chew as properly, etiquette as I should. So I can still listen and nourish my body at the same time.
Awesome.
We'll actually have Lynda and I spotlighted so you don't have to, whoopsie, then I turn off my camera. That's hilarious. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. And there we go. Wow, this is I'm experiencing deja vu right now. I loved our interview this morning, Lynda, and I really love all of your bells and whistles that you have with StreamYard.
Lots of good stuff. I love it.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stream on Facebook now.
And where's the streaming to, Latara? Oh, in the group.
It is, yes, in the group, and I'm just gonna
Okay.
mute people here. Just to clean it up a little bit there, and then here we go. Wait, what day are we on here now?
Oh, and I sent a request to join the group, and when you can approve that, that'd be awesome. So I can comment in there.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it should be automatic, but I'll go in and make sure that you're in. And while I am just setting this up, Nikki, will you be around for a while? Because I want to make sure and have you come up and give a little your side of the story kind of thing while you're still available. So will you be around for a little while?
How long does the program, does this last today?
So we're about an hour on Facebook, and then I cut it off, and then we're at the after party for about another hour. But
Okay.
I wanted to have you come on during the live on Facebook.
Yeah, I could be here for the first hour.
Okay, perfect. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much.
And what Facebook page are you broadcasting on?
I will put it I put a link to it in the chat as soon as I start streaming. Here we go. I'm gonna go public. All right, and here we go. Hello. Hello, and welcome to day 6 of Author Equals Authority Summit. I am super excited to introduce my guest today because Lynda and I go way back, and I can't wait to share her knowledge and expertise with you. She is the CEO of Action Takers Publishing, Lynda Sunshine West, and she is a 22-time #1 international bestseller on Amazon, and she's going to share her knowledge with you about how she did that and how you can do that too. Lynda.
Hold on, I was sharing to Facebook. I was sharing everything.
Oh,
Well,
thank you so
doing
much.
my
I
work.
appreciate you.
I was doing my work here.
Appreciate
Okay.
you. I didn't give you enough
Awesome.
time there. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I got to share it out to 2 different places. So like I'm on it. I'm
Wonderful.
on
Well,
it.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks, Latara, for having me. I truly appreciate it. And you're excited to talk today about becoming an international, #1 international best-selling author. We've published so far to date 14 books, and every single one of them is a #1 international best-selling book. And so we have the system down, and it's kind of funny because when I started this whole thing, I never expected to be a book publisher. That was never anything ever in my thoughts and my ideas, my dreams, nothing. I was never a writer. I was never a reader even. I wasn't even interested in reading. And then I joined my first collaboration book back in 2015. It was March of 2015. I remember it so well because when I got the invitation to join this collaboration book called Footsteps of the Fearless, I was actually a little scared, even though it was called Footsteps of the Fearless. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I jumped into that book, and it was an awesome experience just to see my name in print. Like just that alone was a great experience for me. And from there, I ended up writing my own book called The Year of Fears. And in this book, I broke through a fear every single day for an entire year in 2015. And then my mentor recommended that I write a book. And so I did, The Year of Fears. Well, 3 months after I wrote that book, I ended up meeting this woman who bought my book, and she said, I read the first 14 pages and I already broke through 5 fears. It was that moment that I realized the power of our story. So then I asked myself a question. I said, I was in a book, I wrote a book. What's my next natural state of progression? I said, I'm going to start putting together, my own collaboration book, book, singular. And so I did. I put together a collaboration book. I reached out to, some people that I know. The founder of UGG Boots is a friend of mine. The creator of the Make-A-Wish is a friend of mine. The inventor of the credit card magnetic strip that we use worldwide is also a friend of mine. And I reached out to all 3 of them and I said, I'm thinking of writing this book. Will you join me? And all of them said, just tell me what I need to do. I'm in. And that right there told me that I needed to do this. So that was really what put me on the path that I'm on today. And it was through saying yes to that very first invitation to be in a book, to share my story, a short story in this one book. And so it's really interesting is when we say yes to something, we're saying yes to ourselves and also possibly to something way bigger than we ever could imagine. It was never in my trajectory. So that's my short introduction of how I got into, what we're doing today. And it's totally transformed my entire life, the people I've met, the things I've done. And I never knew I was going to be able to even speak about becoming a best-selling author, let alone a #1 international best-selling author. So it's really fascinating how when we open our souls, our hearts, our minds, and we say yes, those opportunities that show up, what's going to happen, we don't know. But, stick on for the ride because it's going to be fun if you open your mind to it.
Wow, that was a very powerful introduction. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Wow, I'm just so happy to be in your sphere of influence because I know that you have impacted my life personally, and that's what you're all about. Can you share with us your mission?
Yeah, our mission at Action Takers Publishing, and I'll share before I share what the mission is, was
Okay.
interesting for me is I had been in business for 7 years. I was in the corporate world for 36 years and I had 49 jobs in those 36 years. And when I decided to leave the corporate world, I was working for a judge in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. So I had made my way up that proverbial ladder all the way to the top. As far as I could go, I was working for the #2 judge in the entire circuit in the Ninth Circuit and the West Coast. And so I had made it as far as I possibly could, but I hated it. I absolutely hated the prison I had built around myself. I had lived up to that dream, like the American dream of, having a successful career, but I was just trapped. So when I finally decided to leave that job and become an entrepreneur, I flailed around. Trying to figure it out. Like, who am I? What do I do? What's my mission? Who do I serve? And most importantly, as a business owner, how the heck am I going to make any money? Because if you don't make any money, it's a hobby. And so I worked on this, trying to figure this out for 7 years before I finally landed on the book publishing as my business. Now, I had been publishing books for 4.5 years, but just for fun. It was never an idea to do it as a business. So once I made that decision to move into doing the book publishing as a business, it was kind of interesting, like how things just started unfolding. The paths were put in front of me and I took those steps and I just kept going and saying, I know that I'm on the right path and I just need to be guided. And so I was accepting that guidance from, people in my circle, my mentors, coaches, and people like that. And so the reason I'm sharing all of this is because I never had really like a mission until the book publishing came along. It's kind of fascinating to me because my mission is a legacy mission. I will most likely not fulfill this mission while I'm alive. Can it happen? Yes. But because the number is so big, it's unlikely that it will happen while I'm still living and breathing. So with that said, our mission is to empower 5 million women and men to share their stories with the world, to make a greater impact on the planet. And I said, wow, that's a legacy statement. I never thought of legacy before, but now I see myself leaving a legacy behind.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are actually thinking on that level of what legacy am I leaving behind. So that is huge. That's huge. And that's
Thank
very
you.
inspiring as well, that that you're bold enough to create that kind of impact in the world.
It's like
And
Star Trek. Was it bold enough to go where no man has gone before? Well, so I don't know.
yes,
Lots of people
exactly.
have done the 5 million, but we're on that trajectory. We're only at number 300 and something, so we have a little ways to go. But you got to start with that very first step. What's the saying? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And so
Exactly.
that's what we're doing, is this mission, it's very grand. And we're just at the baby stages, but it's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Nikki will attest to that when she comes on and shares a little bit later. And you too, Latara, you've worked with us, but how exciting it is. And I don't feel this excitement will ever die within me, because this is something that is like, I'm living this through my heart and my soul, and that for me, I don't think those will ever die down.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And I think that you've touched on a really, really good point about being a published author, is the fact that people do want to make an impact in the world. They want their story to be out there and heard, and they want to serve people and help people. So I really appreciate you in your mission, and I would love for you to share with us a little bit about what brought you to this point where this is why you want to serve people the way you do.
Oh, that's a great question. Because as I was on that first 7 years of my journey of trying to figure out, who I am, what I do, who I serve, how I help them, and then how am I going to make money doing those things, because we have to have that piece together. I remember it so well. I had published my third anthology or collaboration. I like to call them collaboration books, because it's more than just about the book. It's about the whole piece of collaborating with, different authors and things. And so when I published that third book, which was called, so the first one was called Momentum. The second was called The Fearless Entrepreneurs. And the third one was called Invisible No More, Invincible Forevermore. Well, I ended up launching Fearless Entrepreneurs and the Invincible book 8 days apart. When I launched the third one, Invincible, it hit #1 international bestseller in under 5 hours. The Fearless Entrepreneurs hit it in under 8 hours. And I looked at that and I said, oh my God, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. Like, I absolutely love what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, and I am damn good at this. And I look at that as the triad. These are the 3 pieces of the puzzle that I was missing for all those 7 years. And guess what? I could make money doing this. And so I said, this is what I'm doing. At that time, I had been running a women's mastermind for several years. And I just called them all and I said, just so you know, this Monday is our last day. I'm going to reimburse you any money I owe you. And I am doing book publishing. And I literally severed everything else I was doing, everything. And I dove right in. Well, what was cool is the next day after I made that decision, I got a phone call from a woman. She said, I'm writing 2 books right now, and I was wondering if you would publish them for me. Now, I never told anybody that I was doing, this publishing, that I just made the decision that night. And so I feel like God sent me this message, this messenger. You're on the right path, Lynda. Are you ready? Let's go. I'm sending her to you. And he sent her to me. And so I said, yes, let's go. And so from that point forward, it's literally been, I get referrals like crazy. I'm getting anywhere from 8 to 30 referrals in a week. It's been just amazing. So when you're on the right path, things are sent to you. You don't have to struggle. And like, I was struggling so much in my business before, trying to figure out how to talk about it, how to talk about what I do, how to make the offers. I was struggling with all of that stuff, but now it just flows. It's been absolutely incredible. So that was when I hit like, whoa, this is the thing. I already know I build community. I love doing that. I had run masterminds. I had done events and done all these different things, but now I get to build community through books. And then not only do we build community, we do collaboration books. We also do publish solo books, but we publish, these collaboration books of bringing community together inside of one book. And then we have our great community, which I'm saying great. I mean, it's like the larger community of like now it's about 340 or something like that. But this community, remember, it's going to build to 5 million. And we're just getting started. I get to do what I absolutely love, which is bringing people together and being able to share their stories. And I'll share the last thing. The reason it's important for me to be able to empower people to share their stories is because I grew up in a very volatile, abusive, alcoholic household. I ran away when I was 5 and I was gone a whole week. Now I was safe. I just went to the neighbor's house, so I was safe. But when I came home riddled with fears, and I became a people pleaser. And what that created within me is this person who was too scared to talk to people, too scared to share my voice. So I had so much fear of judgment. I would never share my story. And when I started sharing my story, my own life shifted. So I know the power in sharing our stories for ourselves, because it creates this healing from whatever negativity that we may have had in our past. But not only that, our stories impact others. Like I shared the story of Carrie, who said, just reading 14 pages of my book, she broke through 5 fears. It's our power of our story. This is where we make our greatest connection. It's our relation points that create our relationships. So when we put ourselves out there, we share our story, people can relate to us and they say, wow, I relate to that person. I'm going to reach out to them and see if we can have some kind of connection together. So the power of it, I mean, I can't really fully explain what it means for me, but that's like the root of it right there.
Wow, powerful. I love that. I love the shift that you experienced when you focused in on one thing and you found that clarity. And I think that that's where a lot of people are floundering in their business, because they are trying to be a generalist. I actually have that problem myself, because I always think to myself, well, yeah, I can do this and I could do a good job at it. But I love that you just like honed in on that one thing, and you kind of got a sign from the universe that you're on the right path.
Yeah. And what's interesting about it is because I had 49 jobs, I gained a lot of skills in a bunch of different areas. And one thing I learned throughout this process is I may be really good at something, but it doesn't mean I should be doing it. I can be amazing at doing something, and I shouldn't be spending my time doing that. I should find somebody else who does that as well. And actually, Brian Smith, he's the founder of UGG Boots. He wrote a book called The Birth of a Brand. And one of the things he says in that book that I absolutely love, he says, if you could find somebody who can do it 80% as good as you, is that good enough? Because a lot of times what we do is we set the bar so high, like nobody can do it as good as me. But the reality is that there are probably people out there who can do it better than you, but our ego gets in the way. And so I went ahead and I just like dumped the ego and said, forget that. Like yes, I'm good at this thing, but I don't want to be doing it. And I shouldn't be spending my time. That's not where, I believe in God, right? God put me on this path to do this certain thing. And he gave me all these amazing skills. Why? I believe it's so that I can find the right people to fulfill those skills. That's what I believe. But, I don't need to be doing those certain things. I don't need to be spending my time doing them. I need to be spending my time where I shine the most. And so it's finding out what that is. Each of us has to figure out what that is and then go do that. And then find other people to join your team to do the other things that you really shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And speaking of expertise, I know a lot about publishing, but I don't have that magical ability to generate a bestseller. So would you like to share with us some of your tips for turning your otherwise unnoticed book into a bestseller?
I would be honored. As a matter of fact, I prepared a presentation just for that.
All right, excellent.
So,
all right,
so
well,
today
I'll get
we're
out
going
of the spotlight then and let you do your thing. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Latara. I appreciate it. So today we're going to be talking about the top 10 tips, for becoming a #1 international best-selling author. As I shared, all of our books to date have become #1 international best-selling books. And I at the beginning, didn't even know what I was doing. But it's because of these skills that I've learned. As I mentioned, with 49 jobs, I gathered a lot of skills, and I was just implementing those skills into what I started doing. I thought, oh, I guess I can do this, or I can do that. And I just kind of literally did just kind of figure it out. And so I'm going to share with you all this stuff that I've learned that has helped us to become the #1 international best-selling authors. With all the books that we've done, we've published solo books, solo author books. They're all #1 international bestsellers, as well as our collaboration books. And those, you kind of have an army already built in. You have a book with 15 to 20 people. You already have a built-in army to help you, which is awesome. But I'm going to teach you how to build your own army. So if you are thinking of publishing your own solo book, or if you're thinking of joining a collaboration book, of course, we at Action Takers Publishing would love to have you. And I'm going to share with you at the end of this presentation an amazing deal, because it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm turning 60. And so I'm offering a 60% off deal. So you guys stick around for that, because it's going to be absolutely awesome. So let me share my screen here, and we're going to walk through this presentation together. Okay, I think I'm sharing my screen. And let me figure out this whole, what's this called? Canva thing. So here we go. I believe you guys can see my screen. If you can't, go ahead and put in the chat that you cannot, or if you can, put that you can. That would be good. Just so I know if you can see, if you can put yes or no. Yes, no, yes, looking good. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So again, today we're going to talk about the top 10 tips for becoming a #1 international best-selling author, and presented by yours truly, Lynda Sunshine West. I'm the founder and CEO of Action Takers Publishing, and Latara asked me some questions about that. So if you're tuning in just now, go back and listen to the beginning, because you can learn a little bit about my story and why I am doing what I'm doing. But as far as this #1 international bestseller status, this is a lot of fun. I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun to become a #1 international bestseller for many reasons. One of those reasons is that you have this opportunity for people to see you as an authority in your space. This is the Author Equals Authority Summit, after all. And so being seen as an authority in your space, this is one of the quickest ways that you can do that. I'm a #1 international best-selling author. You can put your book out there. You can put a sticker on there that shows that you're a #1 international best-selling author. Put it on your bio anytime you're up, showing up to shows. If you're being interviewed, make sure you have that stuff on your bio. And it's a lot of fun, because it adds instant credibility. So let me see, my clicker is working here. The worldwide, so we're talking about international, right? International best-selling author. Worldwide, 24% of the world's population ever publish, I'm sorry, let me start over. 24% of the world's population ever write their book. And of that, only 3% ever publish. So if you are already an author, you're part of the 3% of people who ever publish their book. What we're going to talk about today is, how do you become that #1 international best-selling author? Because you can be a published author, which is awesome, because you're part of that 3%. But then imagine how much the numbers go down, becoming a best-selling author, and then becoming a national best-selling, a best-selling author, and then becoming a #1 best-selling author. And then the other one, the #1 international best-selling author. Then we have award-winning authors. Like, there's so many other things out there, but being a published author is really amazing, and congratulations on that feat that you have taken. So the #1 tip is to write and publish your book. Like, this is the first one. You got to do these, because if you haven't written your book, if you haven't published your book, even if you've written it, but if you haven't published it, you are not going to become a #1 international best-selling author. So that's the first tip. That's like, I just thought I'd throw that in there, kind of for tongue in cheek, because I thought it'd be kind of funny. And then the #2 tip is to start early. So starting early, there's some school of thought where people say you got to start 6 months, 9 months early to start, marketing your book. And you don't really have to do that. I'm here to tell you, you do not have to do that, but start early, start at least a month early, 4 weeks early to start getting the message out there about your book. I have a book coming up. The book is called this. If you'd like to get a copy, get on my email list. You can create a lead magnet where you invite people to sign up to receive an email from you when the book is launched and when it's out there and when they can purchase. So start early with that, especially gathering those email lists. Start gathering those email lists as soon as you possibly can. So the third tip here is to make a list. So you're going to make a list of supporters, and these are people in different countries. Since today, right now, we're talking about #1 international best-selling author. If you don't know people in other countries, you may not be able to become an international best-selling author very fast. It might be a little more challenging for that. But if you do have people in other countries that that will support you, then this is much more possible. So make a list of those people that you know in various countries that will support you. And I'll tell you that the easiest countries to become #1, I'm in the US, and the vast majority of my connections are the US and Canada. Those are like the top 2. And then branching out for that, we go to the UK, and then we go to Australia. Like those are our top 4. But we've also hit the international in India. And then we've not hit it in Germany yet. We got really close the other day, but really close to hitting the #1. We hit international bestseller in Germany, but not #1. So we're shooting for that #1 over there. So with this recent book that we launched, Nikki Hall is here today. She's in that book. It's called Women Transforming the Landscape of Science and Tech. And that book hit #1 in 4 different countries. And so it's really exciting that it did that. But we had to make a list of supporters, people that we knew would support us in these different countries. If you're a solo author, you just make those lists just like we do when we do in our collaboration books. You don't have to list what countries they're in, but if you want to, that might be a little more helpful for you. It's just so for your tracking purposes that you know who's in which countries. And then when it's time to share with them the link to help you to market your book, you'll give them only the link for that country, because you don't want them to share all the different links to all the countries. You want them to focus on only one country when you have people outside of your market. So the tip #4 is to reach out to those people. My suggestion is to make a list of at least 50 people. So at least 50, and then go from there. If you can make a list of 1,000 people, make a list of 1,000 people. But remember, these are people that you know will support you. Don't spam people. Don't reach out to people that you don't know. These are people that you actually know that will support you, because you want to get those yeses back. You don't want to get a bunch of no's and like, why are you bothering me, or blockers. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're reaching out to people that you actually know who will support you, and then get a commitment. This is the challenge here, because so many of us are giving, that when it comes time for us to ask for help, it's a little challenging. And when we ask for a commitment from people, it can be even a little more challenging. So what I recommend is that when you're reaching out, you say, hey, I'm so excited. I'm getting ready to launch my book titled XYZ. And I would love for you to be on my street team. Call them the street team, because now they're feeling part of something, right? So street team. You can create a different name for it if you have your own branding, like we're action takers. So if you want to be part of our action takers team, so think about it along that lines. But just reaching out to them and saying that, and say, are you in? And then wait for them to answer. And if they say yes, then you track it. You say, okay, this person in this country said yes. This person from that country said yes. You're getting a commitment to that from them. By them saying yes, it's what's called a micro commitment. So now that they've made that micro commitment, you're adding them to your list. You're starting to build this list of people who are going to support you. So that's the next one, is to get that commitment. Again, the commitment is them saying yes, that they're going to help you. The tip #5 is to find that street team that is going to find other people to buy the book on launch day. So what this means is let's say, I'm going to use Latara as our example today. So let's say Latara said that, yes, she's going to help me. She's committed to helping me. My next step is to get another commitment from her. And that commitment is to find out what level of commitment does Latara have for me. Is she going to buy the book on launch day? Is that her commitment? Awesome. Just make sure you know what her commitment is. The next commitment would be, Latara, will you help me by sending an email to your email list? Yes, awesome. Latara is now going to buy the book. We put it on sale for 99 cents on Kindle. And so she's going to buy the book. She's committed to that. She's also committed, yes. And I'm going to only ask her one thing at a time, by the way, because as many of you probably know, if you ask more than one question, you're only going to get one answer. So ask them one at a time. So Latara has now committed to sending an email to her list. Then you can also ask her, will you also share a social media post? And she says, yes, of course. Now you've got 3 commitments from Latara, 3 micro commitments. So now you can go to that next level, is preparing the marketing materials for them to use. We need to make it as easy as possible for our supporters to support us. So if we say, okay, good, go ahead and do a social media post, tell people about the book, they're not going to do it because you just made it challenging for them. But if you give them marketing materials, so what we do is I'll share with you, there's a couple examples of the marketing materials that we've used in the past. And there's Latara in the book I read. And so what we've done is we create these marketing materials, and then we also have content for them to post. So people will copy and paste the marketing material and the content onto their social media. They may modify it just a little bit so it more sounds like it's from their own voice, but at least we're providing this for them, a place for them to get started. A lot of people will literally just copy and paste. And that is awesome. That's what we want. We want people to, we want it to be as easy as possible for them to market our book. So again, make it super easy for them. And then the next one, tip number 7, is create a private Facebook or LinkedIn chat. If the majority of your people are on Instagram, do it on, I don't even know if you can do groups on Instagram. If the majority of your people are on WhatsApp, make it easy for them, but only make one group. I have an example for this is we have the book that Nikki was in, the Women Transforming the Landscape of Science and Tech. All of those women were on LinkedIn. So the private chat was created on LinkedIn. It made sense because that's where they all are. And then most of our books, though, the majority of the authors are on Facebook. So we create instead our chats over on Facebook. And the reason you want to create this chat is because, as I say here, you want to keep them updated on what's going on. Oh my God, my book's it's ready. It's in the publishing stage right now. It's in the proofreading stage right now. Let them know the book cover was designed. Have them vote on the book cover. You can create 3 or 4 different designs and have them help you to decide, because now they're what's called buying in. They're part of your process because you're inviting them to be part of the process. When they feel like they're part of the process, it makes them want to be able to participate more. So this is going to keep them updated, keep them connected with you, but also allows them to connect with each other. So now you're creating a whole environment of your own supporters, and now they have an opportunity to connect with each other. And also what this does is this gets them pumped up and they're ready to market you when that time comes, that marketing day that you're ready to launch your book. But just keeping them updated on what's going on is going to help them feel part of the process. Okay, then our tip number 8 is also to find people who will interview you and promote you on launch day. So of those people who are your supporters, do any of them have their own show? Do they have podcasts? Or if any of them don't have, or those who do not have their own show or their own podcast, are they willing to do a Facebook Live with you? Are they willing to promote you in that way? Because what you want to do is you want to get in front of their audiences as much as possible. So what I recommend with this is to just, again, this is another micro commitment. hey, are you open to interviewing me on or about the launch day? And then if they're like, oh, well, I don't interview people and stuff, are you willing to just do a quick Facebook Live? Like, we can do just a 3-minute Facebook Live. We can do it on our phones. It's a very simple process. Now, you might need to tell them how to do that, but it's getting, again, these micro commitments. And this is what helps them to stay engaged with what we're doing and to be excited about what we're doing. And they are now part of the whole process. And it's so exciting because they feel like they're part of, like they are part of your launch team. They are your launch team. They feel part of this, and they're the ones that are helping you to hit that #1 status. It's so amazing what happens when we ask for help from people, because a lot of people, most people are willing to help. So reach out to them and ask for that help. Tip number 9 is to track your Amazon rankings throughout the day and tell everyone where you stand. And I know both Nikki and Latara can attest to this, and I think Tiffany's on here today as well, is that, we keep you updated. Throughout the entire day, we were letting you know exactly where we were with the status of the books, so that way you can know what's going on and feel part of that process. And it creates a huge amount of excitement, especially in today's world where we're not together on these book launches. We're doing, so many people are doing the virtual book launches, vast majority of people. So how do you keep people engaged? How do you keep people interested? How do you keep them pumped up? This is one of the greatest ways to do that. Again, this is through that private Facebook group or a chat. It's a chat, not a group. Do it in a chat because you want them to be notified right away. Some people will leave your chat. You got to be okay with that. You just got to be okay with that. I'm just telling you, okay? So be okay with that. And then the final tip is an easy way to become a #1 international best-selling author is to join a collaboration book. All you do is you write 1 chapter, you reap all the benefits, and then us as the publishing company, we do all the rest of the work. You write your chapter, we proofread and edit it, we create the cover design, we create all the marketing materials, we put everything together, we do the publishing, we create all the, just everything. We do all of that work. So this is definitely by far the easiest way to become a #1 international best-selling author. And even though you're part of a collaboration book, I know I get this question a lot. Well, I've just written 1 chapter, so how am I a best-selling author? If it weren't for your chapter, the book would not have become that #1 international best-selling book, because you are part of the process. You're part of the program. You're a very integral part of that book being the success that it is. If you've ever read books like Chicken Soup for the Soul, those are collaboration books. Those are collaboration books. They've sold over 500 million copies. They're on their way to 1 billion. That is Jack Canfield's goal, is 1 billion copies sold. So they're on their way to that. And those books have transformed so many people's lives. So that's, being part of a collaboration book does the same thing. So lastly, here's my crazy deal of the day, 60% off, 60% off until my birthday tomorrow at midnight. I'm going to be turning 60. This morning I woke up and I said, I need to do like a really crazy special, 60% off. And this is for our book called Never Give Up. What we're wanting in this book is people who have the story of, definitely wanting to throw in the towel, but saying, I got to keep doing this. I got to keep doing this, and that there's something that you got to keep doing it, but you just want to quit so much, but you keep going and you keep going. And then you've had success on the other side. This is part of my story, 7 years of, I never really wanted to give up, but I felt like throwing in the towel sometimes, but it was never strong enough to throw in the towel and just say, screw it, I'm dropping this whole thing, I'm going back to a job. Like, I never got to that point, but is the story of like, I just kept going and kept trying to figure it out. What is my thing? Where do I go? What is my purpose? And I finally figured it out. It took 7 years, but I got here, and I'm so glad I kept going and that I never gave up. So we want to hear your stories of never giving up. How do you get that? You go to actiontakerspublishing.com. I believe Latara probably dropped a link in the chat there. This is Latara's referral code, Latara Dragoo at the end there. And when you get there, if you're interested in joining us in the Never Give Up book, enter the code Sunshine60 to receive 60% off. Again, this deal expires tomorrow, which is March 19th at midnight Pacific time, midnight Pacific time it expires. So look forward to having you. And Latara, I'm done. I'll stop my share. By the way, I love that graphic. I reached out to Latara like an hour ago and I said, can you create a graphic that shows me going crazy like that? And she did it. So awesome, Latara. Thank you so much.
No problem. I'm so excited. That's happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that amazing information. What I'd like to do is spend a minute because Nikki Hall is here with us and she was just a part of that launch. So Nikki, let's pop you on up here and let's do that. Oops, didn't mean to put you there all by yourself. There we go. We'll turn it into a party here. All right, so Nikki, would you mind sharing your experience with us about that, the book launch?
Okay, first I'm going to give you a little bit of background so you know that where I'm coming from when I say things. In 1990, I've been a writer all my life. I started, in my teens, and in 1991, I self-published. So thank you. And it sold out, and then I had to reprint them all again, and then I did pretty well, and I was recognized by the government for doing so well in a down market. So I know the work that's involved in this. Now, but the thing is, we all do, for some reason, while we're thinking about how we want to do a book, we all still have an old presence of mind. Like we have to come up to Lynda's presence of mind on what it means to get a book out. So yeah, this is the second book I do with Lynda, and it's the second book that I'm an international bestseller. I know, it's like, yes. So the first thing that people have to do is get rid of the thought of all the crap that you have to do in a self-publishing. Like even my mentor said, oh, I want to do that too, but I've got kids and I have to wait. And they don't realize how easy Lynda and Sally make it for you. Like the collaboration book is the best way to get a direct line to yourself and get that sense of achievement, that sense of creativeness, that sense of peace that exists in you, and you want it. You just keep putting it on a shelf. If they could only meet Lynda and Sally, they wouldn't do that anymore because they do keep you plugged in. They keep you plugged in. From the minute you talk to them, you're in good hands. They know their business. They're going to take care of you. They say, yeah, you don't even really have to ask a lot of questions when it comes to doing business with them because they're so professional, they're so well thought out, and they take care of you right in the areas where you need to go. And then some of us get a little anxious. Like I have a friend who I brought in on another collaboration book, and she was really nervous about writing the book and needed help. She needed to be pulled through, and they do that too. So they're really, it's just, when I first hit with this other book, Lynda, when I hit it with that book, I can't tell you the dynamic shift that changed in my being, like in my entity, because we really know we can do this. There's the nattering or the responsibility or the adult or the whatever it is that we allow ourselves to stay in that comfortable place and not take that step. But doing it with these ladies is quite an accomplishment. It's quite a feat. And it really just affirms who you are. I can't even describe the essence or the feeling I experienced once I heard I was a #1 bestseller. And I knew, Lynda does all the work. Lynda and Sally do all the work. But still, you think you did it all. Like you feel that sense You know, you really do, because there are mountains you had to climb over to do it. So I would advise like everybody to get into this kind of a project. It's so easy to get back into your creative writing world, your expression, your sense of being, your manner of expressing yourself. Like, she keeps you updated. You know, it depends. I was in LinkedIn with this last book. Then I was on Facebook on the other project. And, you know, there's just a being sometimes, and they say, okay, we want you to take pictures. We want you to do this. We want to do that. And they just drive it through. No big energy, you know, happy energy, joy energy, positive, celebrate yourself, but no big calamity stuff, no big energy where you can stall yourself. And so you could go there, you go on Facebook, or they send emails to, you know, so you don't miss anything. And you know, once you get to know them, you know, oh, I'm not going to miss anything. So it's smooth sailing all the way through.
Wow, that's awesome.
That experience that a lot of people that try to self-publish experience. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was
Yes, it's not self-publishing, and it's not all that hard work anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Nikki. You know, every time I hear a testimony, they're all different, but they're all same. And it's
Yes.
very fascinating because it's all different experiences that everybody's coming from. But, you know, the three words that we hear most commonly is that we made it fast, fun, or easy, or fast, fun, and easy. And I love hearing that. And, you know, so like, as I mentioned earlier about, 36 years in corporate and 49 jobs, I learned these systems. I learned how to communicate with people. I learned how to drag people, through the process. I worked with lawyers. I was a legal secretary. Some of the cases that we had 30 lawyers that I had to take control of. And so I was doing all this coordination and organization, and I learned how to not get flustered. I learned how to, they're asking a question, I just need to respond. And like not letting my emotions get involved. It's coming from a logical state of mind. And so I think that's what you're referring to when you mentioned,
Yes.
That it's just like, it's really just a matter of fact. Okay, you asked a question, here's the answer. And it's not like, oh, we answered that again, because, there are questions that come up over and over and over again, but I'm accustomed to it. I'm accustomed to that,
I
so
think
it's,
a lot of
thank you
us
so much.
I think a lot of us are accustomed to assessing exactly what you said. We come in, we really don't know what we're doing. But we know what we don't want, right? And we're coming in assessing, even though we're not being judgy or anything, because we really want to know. And you hit it on all the marks for comfort and for confidence. So it gets so easy.
Wow. Thank you for that. Again, that reaffirms that we're doing the right things. We're always refining on doing better, but it helps us to know that we are on the right track. As far as the company goes, and really it's only been in existence for a year and a half. I've been doing book publishing. I did it myself for 4.5 years. But this last year and a half is when I've had like a team really coming on board and helping me through the process. And so, and I'm always saying this, I'm always saying this to everybody, we have to make it easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to take us more time, but it's going to take them less time. Like that's always my thing. Take them less time, less frustration. My goal is to make it as, again, fast, fun, and easy for the clients as possible. So thank you so much for that amazing testimonial. Latara, can I get a copy of that?
Yes.
Give it to me now. Give it to me now.
Awesome. That was awesome. Thank you, Nikki.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
So what do we do next, Latara?
Well, we only have a few minutes left. We're going to be ending at the top of the hour. So I did want to mention, okay, first of all, I want to reiterate how awesome this is, that Lynda is practically giving away this chapter at 60% off of the regular price to be in one of these anthology books. And even if you only have one chapter inside of this collaboration book, if the book itself gets to international #1 bestseller status, that means that you get the bragging rights of being a best-selling author. So this is stripping all of the complication away from the whole process of doing that, if that's what your goal is. So how awesome would it be for you to be able to say, in 2023, I became a best-selling international #1 best-selling author. So, and it's not, you like Nikki so eloquently said, Lynda and Sally really do take all of the difficulty out of the process. They make it super easy. I was in 2 of her books now, and I'm due for like 2 or 3 more, because they're addictive, kind of, because it's just so awesome to be a part of this whole process. You get to be a part of the community. I cannot say enough about how exciting it is to say I'm a best-selling author. So please take advantage of this. Lynda said that this is going to end at midnight tomorrow. Is that correct?
Pacific time, yeah, March
Pacific
19th, March
time,
19th.
March 19th.
So if you're watching the replay, I'm so sorry, but my birthday only lasts one day. I had to be here live.
So you have to take advantage of this during Lynda's birthday. So I put the link and the promo code in the chat here in Zoom and on Facebook. So hopefully you got that. And if you if for some reason you get lost and you can't find it, just you reach out to me or Lynda and say, hey, I want to take advantage of that. I want to be one of your authors. Another thing that is kind of underplayed is how amazing and robust Lynda's author support is, not only when you're writing the chapter itself and during the book launch, but once you're in her community of authors, she's got ongoing support for you, monthly masterminds. I feel like there's a dozen other things there that I'm just not even calling to mind right now. So you, what else is involved in that?
Well, sharing just today, for example, we do host a monthly mastermind. It's called the Authors Impact Mastermind. And this is an opportunity only for our authors. It's free. There's no additional charge to be part of that. And today what we covered was, interviewing styles, making sure that your lighting is set up, and your camera, and because when you're going to get in front of an audience, how do you present yourself? So we covered that today. And then we have different ones. We'll have speaking ones. We'll have open mic opportunities within the mastermind, so you can practice in this comfortable space. There's just, for me, it's so much more than just a book. This is not just a book. This is a community. This is about helping you to continue to build your own business. So what kind of tips and tricks and techniques do you need in your own tool belt so that you can grow your own business? How do you build a landing page? How do you do all these different things that are involved? And so we're offering all of these different trainings that we do. One of the other things we do is monthly, we host get to know the authors and the publishers. And so this is an opportunity for you to get to know, again, the authors in all of our other books as well. And so we're just building this community, one day at a time and working on that. But there's other bonuses involved as well. And I can't remember what they are off the top of my head either, Latara. So I'll have to figure that out in 1 second. And in about 30 seconds, I will have that answer.
Okay. And one of the things that she also does in the masterminds is you get the opportunity to be in the hot seat. But I don't know. Some people are like squeamish about the word hot seat, but it's actually pretty good, because if you're stuck on something, if you need feedback, if you need help with something, you just say, I want to be in the hot seat. And during the mastermind, everybody focuses their love and support on you to help you through that challenge that you're having.
Yeah, we like to call it the opportunity chair. It doesn't sound as hot.
Opportunity chair. Yes, I knew I said the wrong thing.
It's an opportunity, for you to share what your challenge is, and then we help you to work through that. I ran a women's mastermind for 6 years. I did it every week for 6 years. And so again, that's one of those expertise that I got, and I was like, I love the mastermind so much. I'm going to bring it back. And so we decided to do it monthly for our authors. Another thing we offer is a one-on-one book brainstorming session with Sally. She's the vice president of author development at Action Takers Publishing, and also a one-on-one book marketing coaching session with me. We have an opportunity to do that. We do have today, Latara, we're giving away our How to Become an Amazon Bestseller, the top secrets revealed. So we'll be giving that away. We have a link for that. And then we also, we have a live course called How to Write, Publish, Market, and Monetize Your Book the Fast, Fun, and Easy Way. We're offering that live. It's a fun $500 course if you'd like to sign up for that. But if you join us in one of our books, you automatically get that. It's part of it, a part of being one of our authors. We'd love to give lots of bonuses to our authors, those who have signed up to work with us. That live course is on the 27th, 28th, and 29th of this month. And so it's coming up right around the corner. Excited about that. And then again, as I mentioned, we create those marketing materials and the content. If you were to do that on your own, if you were to hire out to do that, it might cost you $1,000 or $1,500 just for the marketing materials itself. We do the publishing of the book. If you were to hire a publisher to do that if you're doing your own book, that's going to cost you anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000, $20,000 to do that. It's all part of the package. We do all that work. We do all the SEO searching. Like there's so much that's involved, with everything. And then doing the interview opportunities. We had a couple different interview opportunities for our authors in the STEM book. We also, do some of our books. We've had 5, 6, 7 different opportunities. It all depends on what's going on out in the world with our other, our people who have platforms. But the point here is that we're providing all of this value for our authors, because for me, it's not about the book. It's about getting you out there. It's about getting your message out there, because I know how valuable the ripple effect is. The more that I can help you get out there, the more lives you're going to change. So I do my work to do what I can to get you out there into different opportunities. So that's the everything.
All right. And so just to let you know what a good deal this is, I went on to that page, the link that is in the chat, and I entered the promo code, and it's normally $1,500, but with that discount, you can get the chapter in Never Give Up today and tomorrow only. I must emphasize, you can get it for just $624.59. Now, the book course alone was $499. So this is a little over $100 more to get a chapter in the book and get the book course.
Wait, that was with your
phenomenal.
code though, right? Was that with your code?
That was with Sunshine 60.
What am I doing? I'm crazy. Oh my gosh.
What are you doing?
Oh my gosh. You guys better take advantage of me right now before I
Oh my
lose
goodness.
mind.
I think Lynda kind of lost her mind a little bit there.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, no, I can't do that. What am I doing?
Okay, Kim
Quick,
Robinson.
go in and sign up before she changes her mind.
Okay. I just want to say, Kim Robinson, yes, you are in that book already. So if you'd like to sign up for another book, I know you already did the BOGO offer for the Never Give Up, but if you want to take advantage of that 60% off, go ahead and do it. I'm crazy. Oh my gosh, I am crazy. That's okay. Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. Okay. I'm a little cray cray.
That's why I love you so much, Lynda.
Thank you.
All right, so you would have to be crazy to not take advantage of this opportunity. So
$599.60. Oh my
on
God. Oh, am I going to be like, what did I do?
Oh no,
Awesome,
maybe
Kimberly.
I shouldn't have mentioned that. Now she's going to change her mind.
Right, that's correct, Christine. Yes, the promo code is only for the upfront pricing, and the reason for that is because I'd be even like massive crazy if I did it for the payment plans as well. Like, I'm already crazy as it is. Okay, so we're not going to go that crazy. We're not going to go that crazy. You got to pay for the whole thing, and the whole $599.60 upfront by tomorrow at midnight. Pacific time, March 19th, 2023. I want to make sure, because if anybody's watching the replay next year, like, I don't want them to think that they can get on this deal. No, it's right. 2023.
Right. So this promo code will be removed by midnight on March 19th, Pacific time, I should mention. So please, please, please jump on this if you want to become an international bestseller
Number one.
this year. Number one, number one international bestseller this year.
Yeah. So my goal,
And
I'll share
stop
with you.
waiting.
That's one thing is I'm always going to be upfront, honest, and open about everything I'm doing. And I'll share with you why I'm doing this, not only because it's my birthday and I'm crazy. That's not the only reason, but I want to fill this book now. I want to get this one. I want to get this one launched, within the next 3 months. If we can get this filled, actually, if we can get this filled by tomorrow, my birthday, then the book will launch about 3 months from tomorrow. So that would be March, April, May, June. So by the end of June, you'll be a #1 international best-selling author. But we need to get the book filled. So I saw that somebody, Kimberly says, I have a friend, my accountability partner, who I'm going to invite. Yes, please invite. It's not limited to just you who are here today. Let's get the book
Please
filled
share this
so
out.
we can launch it. Let's do. I'm crazy. Oh, and Kimberly, because I saw you ask the question about Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live. If you would like to interview me, since you're going to join us in the book, if you would like to interview me today or tomorrow on one of those, let's talk about my crazy deal. Let's do it.
I will do that. I do LinkedIn Live, so I will do that.
Wonderful.
Okay,
Wonderful.
and
I
then
will do that.
now get this, Kimberly. If you're not
Ooh.
yet in our affiliate program, sign up for our affiliate program because you'll make some money. I think it's $100. So that makes my deal. It's like,
Oh my
I like-
gosh.
I might as well just give this stupid thing away.
Well, absolutely. Let's talk about that. See if we can
Okay.
do that tomorrow morning.
For sure.
And I have to say this, Latara, this has really helped me this week. It's really helped me because I'm very hesitant. I'm this academic person. I have a certain reputation in my field. And I already thought, so I wanted to be a part of Wickedly Smart Women and may still do that. And told my friend about it on Thursday when we had our meeting. And, but I'm afraid to be out there because I have a backstory that most people don't know. And honestly, I've already thought about this book chapter because I've written book chapters, many articles. I've been a guest editor, blah, blah, blah. And I want to start it with, you probably don't know this about me, or here's something you don't know about me.
Dun,
And-
dun, dun.
And until I was 30, between 15 and 30, you would have known it within 10 minutes of meeting me, because I would have told you to test if you would think I wasn't a good person. And after 30, I built this, I just let it go. I guess I got enough therapy. I let it go, and I just went on to build this massive reputation in the field. But I think that I could help a lot of people in academic women if they knew what I came up from. And
Well, you
so
got me intrigued.
the fear is still there. I can feel it when I talk about it. And I said, oh, I don't want to be in that book, because I could think of all kinds of ways that I've never given up. Like, they recruited me to this one university because they wanted someone with my reputation, but they didn't want someone at my age and my ethnicity when they got me. They were like, oh my God. And you're talking about making it hard, even stole an ideal of mine and got a $1.2 million for it. Crazy stuff. So I could tell that, and I'm not sure I'm ready to go and blast all these people, but I can tell my own story and release that finally. And so you have helped me, Latara. That's what I want to say. You have helped me this week.
Yay! That was my
That's all.
goal for this summit. So I really appreciate that feedback. That really warms my heart. And I feel like, Kimberly, you have a very powerful story inside of you that is just bursting at the seams, waiting to get out. So I'm hoping that you join us in the Action Takers Publishing authorship, because I really do believe that it will help you make a huge impact in the world. And I feel like that's what you're up to.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll share, Kimberly, because you mentioned the Wickedly Smart Women book, the Trusting Intuition, Taking Action. I don't know if you know Sharon Wallen. She's also in academia. She's won awards like presidential awards and things like that. She was in academics for over 30 years. And she just cannot say enough of good about us, about the way we operate. So just to allay any type of possible, trust or fears related to that, just know that we are very professional in what we do, and we're always, everything is always positive, uplifting, motivational. So, this will definitely be a great experience for you. I'm excited to have you. Let's do that interview, and then let's get more people, involved in it that are people in your circle, and then you'll make affiliate money from that. Latara will connect you with the affiliate program because she is the head of our affiliate program. So get you signed up for that, and let's see what we can do to help you to make some money at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have two Kims in the same book.
Yeah.
Kim and Kimberly. Fantastic.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you so much. This has been super, super exciting, and I can't believe how the time flew by. We're going to go ahead and shut down the Facebook, but take advantage of this opportunity. Even if you don't, make sure you download the report of the Amazon bestseller tips freebie that Lynda is also giving us here. And tomorrow we're going to have Yvonne Larson talk to you about how to stay in your zone of genius. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to Facebook. If you want to join us on Zoom, you can make sure you join us on the Zoom link, or
because we're gonna go through a worksheet that I've created that's going to help everybody for that Amazon, the #1 international bestseller status.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a lot of fun because Lynda's a hoot to be around. So thank you very much, and we will see you tomorrow. All right, now it's just us. All right, let's go ahead and remove our spotlights. Jump into the gallery view here. There we go. All right, well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kimberly. That was a wonderful share. So I appreciate you coming on and talking about that. I'm really, really looking forward to you being a part of one of Lynda's books, whether it's the Never Give Up book or the other book. What was the name of the other book?
Wickedly Smart Women.
Wickedly
That was
Smart
the
Women.
one that
Yes,
Sally
yes.
told us about. But I already signed up for Never Give Up. And I just wanted, and I was going to save that share because I said, okay, I'll just wait till we're off of Facebook, whatever. I just was moved, but I wanted to say to Lynda, I have no issues with trust. I've only been out working for me and working to support my passions, my mission, my vision for about 9 months. And I tell people that I already know. I thought, I don't get me started. There are books all over the place in here. But, I said telling people, I know that you don't have to, it doesn't have to be. This is a book that I'm promoting, The No Club, Putting a Stop to Women's Dead End Work. But it doesn't have to be a book like this, or it doesn't have to be, I have Atomic Habits sitting there, James Clear. And it doesn't, I'm used to the academic tombs and all these articles that I worked so hard on for many, many months. And it benefited the institution, right? It benefits the institution and I want to benefit the institution too. But I'm saying that I already know the difference now. And I also have gotten just in these few months, such a grand picture of the difference in how publishing works now, based on all the things I've been doing. So I really appreciate it. So no worries. You have great credibility, and I'm completely feeling trust in you all's process and method.
Awesome. Fantastic. I love that.
Awesome. And congratulations. You jumped in. That's excellent.
We got you. We got you. We got you.
Yes. Lynda is amazing, and she's definitely a woman of integrity. So you're in the right hands. and she'll get you there. She'll get you to bestseller status without even batting an eye. All you have to do is focus on your chapter. That's all you do.
I'm blinking.
So
I'm batting an eye.
so I put the link in the chat for the affiliate program if you wanted to sign up for that. I would recommend doing that sooner than later, especially if you're going to interview Lynda, so that way you can get credit for all the people that you bring in. And you know, it's obviously a win-win situation. Win-win-win situation. Everybody wins.
Okay, let's see here. Okay. What are we doing next, Latara?
I was almost finished with that. That's the one where you put your tax ID and everything. It came up after I signed up. So I was
Oh,
almost finished with it.
you can fill out the tax ID part later, just as long as you're.
Well, I have that, but
set up. Okay,
but I'm just going to put my social security number. I have a tax
Okay.
ID, but I talking to the accountant just like 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to use my LLC number unless
Oh,
you all
okay.
tell me that there should be a reason I should. So
Well, if your tax person doesn't say anything, then we're not going to go against them. That's for
Okay.
sure. Wait, did you sign up for the affiliate program?
It's when I signed up for Never Give Up, and
Mhm.
it said create an account, and then it said do this and put your tax ID number, and I was doing all that while you all were.
Okay. Well, we
Yeah, it
might
came
be able to
right
get
up.
you all squared away right here then.
Oh, that's weird because
You're not showing her as pending.
no, I'm not showing her as pending, but not only that, I didn't know when you sign up for a book, it asks for your tax ID number. So that's a different link that you're referring to there, I believe, Kimberly, because I don't see her pending. Do you, Latara?
So don't fill it out.
Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. You already signed up for the book. Then
Okay.
the other one would be Latara put, let me see it. Yeah, I have you here. Now you already signed up for the book. And then Latara put a link that says, the one she just put in there. It says to become an Action Takers Publishing affiliate. Click on that link to sign up as an affiliate. Then once we approve you, then it'll ask, because you haven't gone through that system yet.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
click on that one. Yeah, I'm not sure what that other one was. That's interesting. I didn't know that happens. So I'll have to check into that. I think it did ask for tax ID number. Kim, do you mean when you signed up for the book, Kim?
And it's the
Yes,
exact same page as the one that Latara just gave me.
Interesting.
They see it says in the middle of her page tax identification number, and it asks for PayPal email address. The link she just sent. I just opened it. It's the exact same
Okay.
page.
Oh, the create an account one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what this tells me, okay, thank you. This is interesting. I didn't know this was happening, because now I have a team. I don't know everything. So what's interesting is what's happening is once you sign up for a book, we're asking you to become an affiliate. We're so smart, and I didn't even know how smart we are. Look at that. Hi, Mason.
Oh, funny.
My buddy. Okay, so that was the same place, and now I realize that's happening. So that's fantastic. We're so smart. And then we'll connect with each other to get me interviewed on your program. It is my birthday. I'm doing a birthday breakfast at 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. But we'll coordinate. We'll connect with each other on LinkedIn, because you're on LinkedIn, right, Kimberly?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we'll connect over there and then make things happen.
Okay.
Ooh, exciting.
Awesome.
Because that's 12 my time.
Okay.
9 is yours, 12 is mine. And so then you'll
Okay.
have your brunch. And then I have a 3:30 to about 5:30. So it won't be a long LinkedIn. It won't be like the lives,
Yeah.
like I set up and I do a run a show with all these people and stuff. We'll just get on and
Yeah, we'll just do like 10 minutes or something.
yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
And I'll
So if we
probably
could
do it through StreamYard or either Zoom,
Okay.
because I'm not that good with broadcasting from Zoom, but I'm good like that from StreamYard.
StreamYard. Yeah, StreamYard is great. So we could do it if you're available at 10 a.m. your time. I can do a 7 a.m. my time.
I can do it.
Okay, perfect. I'll put it on my calendar. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now that we got that out of the way.
How funny. See, when you take action, you just get thrown into momentum. I love that. I
Yes.
love that. I see that happen around Lynda all the time. things just
That's right.
happen.
Make it
Just to make a
happen.
little minor clarification here, it says tax ID number, but it doesn't have the little asterisk next to it. So if you wanted to complete the form without putting that in, that's also possible. Just to get you into the system.
And then you
can
fill
go
it out
back and
later.
Fill that out
Right.
later. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we definitely want to get you set up for success here. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure you're in the system so you get credit for that. Cool, cool, awesome, awesome. This is even more exciting than I could have even anticipated. So, okay, so the next thing that I think we should probably do is, Lynda, you had a worksheet. Do you have that ready for us?
Yes, let me see, I dropped the link in the chat. I'll put it in there again. This is just a very simple worksheet to help you with, I'll share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at for those who aren't able to download it right now. And so it's just to become that #1 international best-selling author. And so the first thing you would want to ask yourself is, where do my readers, because again, we're talking about your book, right? It's not about who you're connected with on your social media, but this is specifically about your book, because your book could be about something that's not as relatable on your LinkedIn people as it would be on your Facebook people, for example. So just think about this question, like, where does my reader hang out? So whatever your topic is about your book, where are those people going to hang out? And then just list them here on the sheet here. And if it's a whole bunch of different socials, go ahead and list all of those. You just want to get those listed down. And then the next thing is to make a list of, I shared this earlier as I was giving the presentation, is really sit down and make a list of the people who are going to support you or you believe will support you. One thing that I think is very important in here is there's a saying, don't give to get, but give to give. So when we reach out to people, instead of thinking like, oh, this person's going to support me no matter what, I just know it, which is awesome. We want to think that way. But if they don't let that bother you. Don't let that get to you. Just keep moving on and thank them for responding, or, just don't hold it personally. Like, oh, they must not like me. Don't let that make you give up. Just never give up, right? We got to never give up. So making that list, I'll share with you, I think I was turning 40 and I was going to run my first marathon. I was never a runner. I was never interested in it. I didn't even have PE when I was in school because I was in band, and band at my school was considered PE. So I didn't even have to have PE. So I didn't do any of the running or anything. So I reached out to my friend Larry because I was going to run this marathon. I was raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to run with their team called Team in Training. And I had to fundraise $3,000 so that I could run the marathon in Hawaii. Larry is a millionaire. He's got like $5 million. He's doing really well. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to reach out to Larry. I just know he's going to donate $1,000. I just knew it deep down to my core. So I sent him a letter, because this was back in the old days before email. I sent him a letter asking him for a donation, and I got a check in the mail. And I was so excited. I got this mail and I opened it up and I looked inside of there, and it was a check for $26.20. So Larry donated $1 per mile, literally. And I was like, what the heck? I mean, he could easily afford $1,000. But then I realized that I was letting my thoughts and my beliefs get in the way. Larry is very frugal. He's always been that way. And he says, I want to have $1 million. This is why I don't spend all my money. So for him to invest or spend $26.26 on me was a big deal for him. And so I was grateful that he gave. So you want to make that list and don't expect anything. Don't expect anything. You can, the idea is to have that hope, that desire, that dream, that knowing that they're going to do it. But if they say no, or if they don't support you, just don't let it get to you. That's all I'm asking here. And then the last thing is to create this tracking sheet. Oh, by the way, I made this so it's not editable, but for you to edit yourself, if you wanted to use this, you would just go on the top left-hand side, you would click on File, make a copy, and then here you would name it whatever you want to name it. and then save it wherever you want to save it and say, make a copy. And that will make it so it's 100% editable for you if you wanted to use this as a form. So the next is to make that list. So you're having your 56 people, 1,000 people, 2,000 people. You make this list, and this is what it looks like. Put their name, the date you reached out to them. Are they committed? Yes or no? As I mentioned in the presentation, the commitment, these are micro commitments. This very first commitment that we're getting from them is, will you help me on my launch day? Will you help me on my launch day to get my book out there? Yes or no? And if they say yes, then what I recommend is go to a different tracking sheet like this. As I mentioned in the presentation, what is to add different things. So those different micro commitments that you keep. So for example, did they say yes to helping you with launching the book? Did they say yes to interviewing you? Did they say yes to doing a social media post? Did they say yes to doing an email post? And again, getting those micro commitments each time, one at a time. Don't ask them a whole bunch of them at one time. And so then get those commitments from them and log everything. So that way, as you get closer and closer to the launch date, you know exactly who to reach out to and say, you know, thank you so much for committing to interviewing me. Let's get that scheduled, right? So now you're knowing exactly, or if when they say yes, if you feel like when they say yes, I will interview you, get it on the schedule then. Get it on the schedule right then, and you just get it going. So this is just a simple process, a simple worksheet that you can go through to help you to build that list of people that are going to help you to become a #1 international best-selling author. The one thing I did leave off of this piece right here of the tracking sheet is what country they're in. So if you want to track which country they're in as well, you know, do that. So that way you have that information and you can know that when the book launches. So let me see, are you guys able to see that I went to a different screen? Can you see that I went to a different screen?
Yes.
Is anybody there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this book, for example, this is the Women Transforming Landscape in Science and Tech. This is the one we launched yesterday. This is, if you look at the very top, it says Amazon.com. So this is the US. Now I'm going to look at the next one over here. This one is Amazon.com/AU. That's Australia. So each country has a different link. This one is the UK, it's Amazon.co, right? And then here we have Canada, the .ca, and then I believe it's this one. I don't know if I have the other one. This was Germany, DE. And so you want to give that country that they're in that specific link that links directly to your book. So if right now I see I have this showing you the different books that are the best sellers. This apparently says bestseller on top. I don't know. I don't speak Dutch, so I'm not sure, or German, whatever their language is called over there. But when I click on the Women Transforming the Landscape of Science and Tech here, it's going to give me a completely different URL. And this is the URL I would send those people that I know who are in Germany or that would buy the book through Germany. That Von Kathy. I don't know what any of this stuff says. Okay, that's the worksheet, how it works. And I guess any thoughts, questions, or anything?
I noticed that Shauna just joined us. Hello, Shauna.
Hello, how are you? I'm just realizing I'm super late. I've just been in classes all day, so I'm like, oh gosh, I wanted to come in and support and learn, hear what
I
she was
appreciate
doing,
that.
but yeah, I'll have to catch the replay.
Well, thank you for being here. That's awesome.
Good to see you. And Sally Ross too, she's one of our authors as well. So looking forward to her joining more books as well.
Sally, can you come on camera? We'd love to get another testimonial. We're on a roll today.
Well, before we do that though, I'm curious, does anybody have any questions about the worksheet, you know, what I went through there? Any thoughts? Asia and Africa, let me check. It might be, there is Japan. Let me see what I'll see what the other countries are. The ones that I listed there is because the authors in that particular book, they were located in those different countries. And so there is India, as well as this book. We didn't have anybody involved in India, so we didn't do that. But normally I'll include an India link, Japan, as well as Italy. PL, I don't know where that is. PL, I'm not sure. And then there's Italy, there's España and France and Japan. SE, I don't know where that is either. Since I don't speak the languages, when I click on them, I have no idea where they are. And NL, I'm not sure where those countries are.
Can you share your screen? I'm not sure what you're looking at.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sorry. I thought I was still sharing. Sorry. Okay, so I'm actually in the back office right now on my KDP. So KDP Amazon is where all the magic happens. Now, for this particular book, we published it through KDP. We normally use a platform called Ingram Spark, but the paperback of this book got stuck somewhere in the system. So I ended up publishing it through KDP Amazon. So when I'm in my back office here, you can see the pricing that I charged. And then if I hover over this where it says view on Amazon, these are the different countries. So if I click on any of these, it's going to take me over to that country. So I clicked on the US and here it's showing in the US. So that's how you could find the links. What's cool here too, I'll share this, is that if you see here, here's a Kindle version and a paperback version. Those have separate links. So if I click on Kindle, if you look on the URL on the top, when I click on Kindle, that URL is going to change, as well as when I click on the paperback, it's going to change. So really, if you want to push your paperback, you should share that link so it takes them straight to the paperback. Even though they can see the Kindle and select the Kindle, you're really like moving them towards the paperback version. On your launch day, though, I highly recommend doing the Kindle version. Just go for the bestseller status using the Kindle version. Usually people charge less for Kindle. So just to hit that status, and then once you hit that status, you can raise the price. You can change your categories. One of our books recently, we were #1 international in 26 different categories, because when we hit that #1, I went back into the back office and I changed the categories. So we hit it in different categories. So there's a lot of things you can do that help you to just increase that status. Because how cool is it? He's like, oh, we're #1 in 4 countries and 26 categories. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's one of the tricks to do that. Sally's coming back in, Sally Ross. Oh, it could be Poland. I'm not sure. I don't speak some of the languages. Not sure how that goes. Thailand, Pakistan, India for sure. India for sure. So, and then, so like you said, Nigeria, I have a lot of contacts. I have a lot of friends in Nigeria as well. And I believe they use the UK link to purchase, so they would just choose whichever country was closest. And I guess just asking them, when you buy something on Amazon, which Amazon do you go to? Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Kimberly, you said you would just ask them. So you're already ahead of the game. You're ahead of me. Oh, what is? You says it is. I Googled it. Oh, PL is Poland. Okay. Thank you for that. I didn't know that.
I just asked what country is PL. Actually, it was on Microsoft Bing, and that's what it came up as, Poland.
Okay. I never
Poland.
thought of asking that.
Yeah.
Like, that's so
What
simple.
was the other one? You gave another one.
Let me see what that was. There was.
Yes, it is, Christine. I worked in the part of Ukraine that's adjacent to Poland. Like, we used to go to this church. If you were
Okay.
like 5 kilometers, it was Poland. It was PL. I wasn't even thinking.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, there was SE and NL. Those are the only 2 I don't know now.
SE is Sweden.
Oh, it should be
Oh, that's
SW.
where Paula is.
There you go.
And NL is Netherlands. Yeah, Netherlands
Okay.
is NL.
Okay.
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 At least according to Microsoft Bing, those are our answers.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for looking those up.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
I'm learning to use the computer a lot more to give me answers sometimes. Mind you, Poland was a question, like when you said it, that was the first thing I thought of was, I wonder if PL would be Poland. And it's like, well, why don't I see? Can they tell me?
Exactly. Exactly.
The hard
Love
part
it.
is Canada is CA, but then when you're dealing with people in the US, CA
California.
is California, right?
Yeah, I'm in San Diego, so yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've gotten accustomed to is always mentioning the time zone. Because
Right.
I work with people all over the world all the time
Mhm.
now, and then always mentioning my country. So I'll say
Right.
San Diego, California, USA, just because
Right.
if I did San Diego, that could be, there's a San Diego down in Mexico.
Mhm.
So you just, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
And for myself, I say Ontario, you went to California. I'm in Canada. Like, so it's all the more reason that I actually say Hanover, Ontario, Canada, because someone's going to hear Ontario and they're going to think California. So I just, I've just gotten used to saying all three you're not likely going to know Hanover. Having said that, I've been
There's a
in
Hanover,
networking groups,
Connecticut. There's a Hanover,
and there's a
Connecticut.
Hanover, Pennsylvania. So literally, we're both from Hanover, but different,
Yeah,
state and province. Yeah. So it's really
exactly.
kind of neat. Yeah. I mean, we're so diverse now. I mean, we've always been diverse, but with what COVID did with us, we have, taken the spread out and brought it so much closer that, but we still have to identify where we are so that somebody doesn't go, oh, I know, oh no, you're not where I thought you were, things like that. It's just easier.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But it got me thinking because I actually do know some people in the Netherlands. So that got me thinking way broader than just, I mean, for me being in Canada, I definitely think of the US, of course, is the first one that I jumped to. But it's like, yeah, who do I know otherwise that those connections? And I do know some people in England, and I know some people in Australia and New Zealand. And so you start when you have that list,
Yeah.
you start, and then you're going, oh, and there's this person and there's this person, when you're not even, you're
Yeah.
just thinking of people that in other countries. You don't know that they're going to be part of your team, but if you don't brainstorm it, you don't, the answer is no if you don't ask somebody.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. You've already answered for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. And I've done no's for so long. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be asking so I can possibly get some yeses in whatever I'm doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely contributes to being able to get the international status,
Mm-hmm.
taking a look at that. So thank you, Linda, for that that tip, because I wouldn't have even thought about that.
And Linda, you don't plan the book based on that you want people from different countries. Like if it all ended up being North America, that's fine. It's our job to find the other locations to help promote the book in the
Yeah,
end.
definitely. And in thinking along the lines of, because that's with the collaborations, but with the solo authors, they're only one person in one country, right? And
True.
so for them to, look at, like you're mentioning right now, I know some people in the Netherlands, I know them in New Zealand. You're
Mhm.
thinking about all these different people that you know. So we all have our own circles. And then what you do is you reach out to those people, which we would create as, your street team, right? And then your street team, and it is dinner time here in the West household for the dogs.
Yeah.
Don't know if you guys can hear them, but I sure can. So you build that street
Just a
team and
little bit. It's more like
Okay.
static almost. It's more like
Oh,
a bit of a
really?
static, like just a sharp little something. So it's worse on your end than for us. No
Okay,
worries.
cool. Because it doesn't
Mhm.
distract me. It just distracts me if I think it's distracting others. Yeah, so building that street team, again, that's when we go to that next micro commitment. Will you help me to advertise, right? Because then it's going to advertise the people that are in the Netherlands. Most of their friends are going to be in the Netherlands. And
Right.
so this is how we're able to build that, number one international best-selling status. Now, a question I get asked a lot is how many books do I need to sell in order to hit bestseller? Or how many books do I need to sell to hit number one? Well, there's no answer for that. The reason is because every single hour of every day, Amazon is updating the bestseller status. It's based on how many books were sold in that hour. Then what happens is as a 24-hour period goes by, if they accumulate the number of books that were sold within that 24-hour period, and then they update the rankings based on that. So the rankings are constantly updated. Sometimes it's 2 hours, but for the most part, it's like they say it's every hour. So every hour or 2 hours, it's getting updated. So who sold the most books in that hour? We don't know, and we don't know how many it is. So really, it's just that you got to do a push. So one of the things we recommend is like, if you're pushed at like within a certain 1 hour period of time. So if you're going to launch your book and say, let's say you're like, I'm in the US, I'm Pacific time zone. So 7 a.m. here is a good time to start because, people are just waking up and they can help between 7 and 8, right? But then in the East Coast, it's 10 o'clock. So it's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So their push would be at 10 o'clock. And then in the UK, I know they're 8 hours different from me. Sometimes they're 9 hours, sometimes 8 hours, depending on when the time changes. So I know that for them, then it's 3 p.m. that they're going to help with the push. So I'm already doing a really broad range of time zones. Up over in Australia, it's going to be about 10 or 11 p.m. for them. So they might not be able to really help with the push,
Right.
but they can help with the push the next morning. So in Australia, the push might be 7 a.m. in Australia the next morning, which for me is going to be about 4 p.m. for me the previous day. Right. See, but if they're doing the push and during that hour, then the calculation of the sold books in Australia during that hour will still be in that 1 hour period of time. See, so there's a lot of calculating that goes into the process here, and it's very fascinating the way it all works. But then you watch those rankings, you just keep watching and you keep watching, to see what they're doing, and you let everybody know, oh my God, we're at number 5. So we had one of our books, we were up against Prince Harry. We didn't know he was launching his book the same day as us. We did pass him though. We passed him for 1 hour. 1 hour. That's all we needed.
Right.
And so we're telling everybody we're up against Prince Harry. Let's go, let's push it. And then we passed him. We said, we passed him. Yeah. So we get to celebrate that. So it's a lot of fun.
True. So do you really only have to be the one that sold the most books in one of the hours of the day in order to be called number 1?
Yeah. You just got to hit it. And then you have your proof, you take pictures of it, of course, because you don't take pictures, it didn't happen.
Right. Right.
So you take pictures.
Well, yeah, and you
then
got to get it in that hour, because the next hour, if it's not there, now you don't have that documentation per se.
Yeah. And I have had that happen before. So what's cool is, again, by having a street team, one of the things you ask them is that, hey, if you see us hit a status, take a picture, a snapshot of it and send it to me. So that way, if you don't get it, at least somebody did. And we had that happen once when because I'm in California and Sally is in New York. And so it was about 8 a.m. for her, 5 o'clock. I was still sleeping. We hit number 1 while I was sleeping, and she took a snapshot of it. And so fortunately, when I woke up, we were still number 1, because she does it on her phone. So you only get like a picture of 2 or 3 books. Whereas on my computer, I can get, a picture of a whole bunch of them. And so fortunately, we were still number 1 when I got up and I saw her message and I was able to get the full snapshot. But at least if I wasn't able to get that, we would have something. So you ask your street team, will you look every 5-6 hours for us just to see what's going on? Because again, they're being part of the process, right? And one of the challenges I think a lot of people have is asking for help. And here's how I look at asking for help now. I wasn't always this way, but I learned this is that I love it when people ask me to help them with something. So if I love it when people ask me to help, then they probably love it when I ask them to help.
True.
So why are we depriving them of that opportunity to be able to take part in something like this? Because it is a lot of fun. It gives them, again, opportunities to connect with the other people who are helping. And these are all your connections. So they all know that each other is most likely going to like each other in one way, shape, or form, because they're your connections, they're your people. And so you're inviting them into an environment. You're not asking them for help. You're creating something that they get to be part of. A lot different mentality behind that.
True.
Yeah, it's so you can't
Yeah,
tell. I have fun.
It's something that doesn't involve money. Like, it's a way to help and promote where maybe they can't. I mean, when you're promoting Kindle, I mean, it's not expensive, but it's just the idea. It would just be one way that somebody could be going, I can help you with this. And it doesn't have to involve finances, which sometimes they maybe wouldn't be able to do. Or when you get
Right.
the country barrier of, well, I can't really work with you with that product line, but I could help you with your book, different things like that. So
Yep.
there's that give and take factor. Yeah. So curiosity then, when they're like, for example, when you're getting the push in Australia, is it you're working on just that country, putting it to the top, or is it still a matter of worldwide? You're trying, like, if people were buying it back here still, while Australia's, how does that work? Does it all go
Great
together, or it's
question.
country by country?
We're pushing them all the whole time.
Okay.
But as far as the countries go, you're pushing those people who are in that country to get their people in that country to purchase.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
right, each country. So for example, we had, I just sent a message to the ladies in the STEM book that we did yesterday. And I said something about Australia. Here's the link. Because see, we were having problems with the print version, getting published, and it didn't get published until today. So we hit the #1 with the Kindle, which is what we always push anyway. But I wanted everybody in those certain countries that we're working with to know that the print version is available. So I said, if you're buying in Australia, click this link. If you're buying in Canada, click this link, wanting them to click the specific links related to that country so that we get credit in that country for the paperback now. So if they're going to go buy the paper book, click this link and buy it in that country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought it was neat that on the day of the push, you're promoting the Kindle, because it's an inexpensive way to get yourself up there high. And by putting the link to that, as you said, they're going to see the option to buy the paperback. So if they want to buy that, they can go ahead. It still counts as a sale, whichever it is. But you're pushing them to the inexpensive one because you'll sell a lot more of that to be able to raise your
Right.
number. Okay, neat.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
I am just awed by the process in your system. And I really appreciate it, Lynda. I think it's like you took those 49 jobs and those many years in corporate where you were doing these things and creating miracles for other people. I can relate. And then you said, let me apply this to something that I have a vision for, that I want to do, that I want to have impact with. And so it's like a grand lesson for all of us. It's never wasted. All of those experiences and such, they weren't wasted. They never would have been anyway. But to hear you, and Christine is like asking a lot of the things or saying a lot of the questions. Christine, we think a lot that I would have. And I'm just listening. I'm like, yes, that's a good one. Yes.
I saw some animation there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wow, I just am amazed.
Thank you.
You said you found out that this is what I forgot how you put it, but I took a note of it. You said, this is what I want to do and I'm good at it, And then the third step was, and I can make money from it because we do have to make a living, And
Yeah.
and it's just like, it's exemplified in how you are telling us about this and what your systems, I'm a systems person. The job I just quit, I was a chief of a service at a Veterans Medical Center.
Mm.
And so, and it was education, research, and development was the service that I put together, created. And And so systems are, and processes are, you know, we try to tell our clients that, right? Let's put in place some systems and we can do anything.
Exactly. Well, it's funny that you say that, because, well, first of all, I did put my link in the chat there, Kimberly, the LinkedIn. Okay. It's funny that you say that because people who are systems people actually intimidate me a lot. And I never saw myself as a systems type of person, but I see in the system that I've created, when I first created it, it was for myself because I was the only one doing the work. So I created my own system. It worked great. And then when I brought Sally into the picture, I was like, oops, now I need to recreate my systems to work for 2 people, right? And now we have more people involved. Oops, now I get to create the systems to incorporate more people. And it's been fascinating just to see myself, go through this process. But I am a systems person. I just need to admit it to myself, and own that.
No
Right?
shame, no shame.
Exactly. Like to own it.
They say there's no shame in your game.
Well, because I'm a creative, and that was hard for me to believe. Like I never saw myself as creative. I always said, I'm not creative. I'm not creative. And then I had other people tell me how I'm creative so that I could see that I am. And then once I'm like, oh, I'm creative, I'm not a systems person. So there's all different chatter going on in my own head constantly that I'm working on. But one thing I do know that I'm really good at, I know I'm good at a lot of things. First of all, I'll say that I do know that. But one thing I know that I'm really good at is seeing the future. And that's what a systems person does. They look at the future problems, the potential problems that may come up, and let's fix them here instead of waiting until we get there. And so as we're coming up with new ideas and new things that we're coming up with within our publishing company, I'm looking at it from 5, 10, 15 years down the line. What can we do today to make it so that we don't come across a problem then? And so our little system that we have right now is really a big picture vision system. But I also know we're still going to grow into a larger system, but our systems will be in place that making that transition is going to be easy. And so it's been fascinating. I'm going to pat myself on the back here for a second. Okay. And that's because, just admitting that I know what I'm doing, that was huge for me. That was huge. And so not only do I know what I'm doing, but like I said, it's a triad. I love what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, and I am damn good at it. Number 4, let's make some money with that, right? So that's where it all came together. And all those, like you mentioned, 36 years, 49 jobs, all of those skills that I gained over there, I started asking myself, how am I incorporating these into what I do instead of saying, I don't want to do that stuff. And so that's what I'm doing now is incorporating all those skills. It doesn't mean that I'm always going to be the one doing them, but it means that for right now, I'm doing them and I'm incorporating them into what I'm doing and making sure that everything runs smoothly. And it's pretty darn smooth. I must admit, there are very rarely any hiccups that we have. And it makes life a lot less stressful. That's what systems do, right? They create a stressor-free life. Hey, Kim. Oh, bye, Kim. Hey, Kim.
Hey, I can't see you guys right now. Something's going on with my phone here. But yeah, I'm just kind of going in and out. I'm hearing everything you're saying, and this is so awesome. I'm just taking it all in.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So we have Christiana joined. She's in Hawaii.
Hey,
Always
what up, Lynda? Aloha.
Aloha.
Oh, I love listening to you and your enthusiasm, and you really are just such a badass. All the places you have found yourself in these, contraction, and then you are able to move through these thresholds, and how you're delivering it and with such joy and laughter and song. And happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
I appreciate
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys being here.
Is Sally able to come on? Maybe not.
Sally's at a baby shower.
Oh, okay, okay. No worries, no
Yeah,
worries.
not able to join us today. But what do we have? We have
There she is. Hi. You're muted though.
oh, the other Sally Ross. Oh, I thought you meant Sally Green.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
I was
that's
like,
right. Hello,
She
Sally.
doesn't seem like she's in a party right now. So.
Yeah, Sally is in one of our books as well, having a great experience with us, right? Right.
Which book is that? Is that the one that just launched? Oh, you're muted.
I have to go look up it. We have so many authors now. I can't remember who's in which books, which is a good problem, I'm like, I can't remember.
To get shit done, but.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we haven't yet launched that one. I
We're
can't
working on
wait.
it.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. They're all good. I must admit, they're all good. I have over 70 titles that are coming up. And I will be awakened sometimes at 3 a.m. with the title of a book. And if I don't get out of bed, it just keeps gnawing at me and I have to get out of bed to write it down. So I have there's like 70 titles that are coming up and it's, we're ready. We're ready to rock and roll this thing. And my goal is to just blow this whole like collaborative book space out of the water. Because right now, I'll just share a little bit of my own experience. I'm in several collaboration books. I believe in them that I join other people's as well. And what I notice is that it's a lot of things that are missing in the collaborative space is what's continuing after. It's more about the book. And this is why, for me, it's important that we create this community that keeps going, that we keep bringing value, that we keep, bringing our authors together for an opportunity for them to collaborate with each other. So it's more than just about the book. And in addition to that, I've noticed that that one of the things I really like the most about the collaborative space is that collaboration piece, but having that opportunity to connect with like-minded people, because each book is themed, which means that theme, people are jumping into it because of the theme. So if you're in the same book in the same theme, then you're going to connect with people who have the same beliefs, at least related to that one thing. So it's really awesome because you're able to instantly connect with like-minded people. And so I love the collaborative space. I think it's absolutely incredible and it provides so much value. We're making dinner.
Well,
Oh, how would you decide which book Christine asked, how would I decide which book to participate in? We do have on our website, it's actiontakerspublishing.com/author. That lists the current books that are coming up. I don't have listed there all the books that are, like I said, the list that we have, it doesn't have all of those, but it has the ones that we're working on currently. So there you can find the different books that we're offering. And then if you have a specific book that you yourself would like to do, I'll give a great example. We have in the Wickedly Smart Women book is one that's coming up. I know Sally Ross, who's going to be attending, we're hosting a, what do you call it? An information meeting about that book at 5:30 p.m. tonight, Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern. And for that particular book, we're looking for, what's that? Wickedly Smart Women, which is the subtitle of that book is Trusting Intuition, Taking Action, and Transforming Worlds. So we're looking for people who are trusting their intuition, they're taking that action. But how do you decide which book to be in? Is you look at the title, you see, does that one resonate with me? And if it does, then you're like, oh, I got to be in that book. Then you know for sure that that's the book. But if you're not sure which is the book, then you can always hop on a call with me or with Sally Green, and we'll hear your story and we'll let you know which book we believe would be the best fit for you. So that's also another option. And I will drop a link to hop on a call with me. It's just actiontakersauthor.com. And that's a link to my calendar. So if you'd like to hop on a call with me to talk about the various books that we have and see what opportunities, and we will hop on that call, there, you might fit for a book that's coming up. And I'll just, like, as I have my list, and I would just go through it and say, you know, I think that this would be the book that would be best for you. And you just hold off. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's going to try to move somebody into a book because it's a fit for me. That doesn't work. It has to be a fit for them.
Right. And
Yeah.
so with the ones that you've got coming up, like I'm just thinking of a, decide later to take advantage of the promotion. I won't be able to chat with you before I would have to make the decision based on your schedule. Because I already pulled up the link. And so with that in mind, I would choose that. And then we would find the one that would be best. But it could be months before it even comes out because of the order that you're going to be working on them as well.
That's correct. And I love the idea. I love how you had that idea to jump in now and then change the book later. Very smart.
Well,
I hadn't even
'cause,
thought about that.
I mean, duh. For that deal. It's like,
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
well, and
Yeah,
actually what
can
you
put- I
don't,
think that
yeah,
we'll select later is an option on there.
it is an option.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is an option. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that was just where I was looking at the possibilities. I literally have just committed to another collaboration book. So then all of a sudden I'd have another one, which is like, okay, but this one would be less expensive than what I had just moved
Only until
into
tomorrow
a
at
few
midnight
weeks ago.
Pacific time. Well, and you know what's
Yeah.
funny is because okay, so I said this is for the Never Give Up book, right? I even told Latara, I said it's for the Never Give Up book. And then as I went in there to create the discount code, like, oh, it won't let me do it for just one book.
Oh,
So it's
Oh.
making it for all the books. So what,
okay.
yeah. So you
There's
actually
people that
found,
know about this.
you found the loophole. You found the
Inside
loophole.
scoop.
Well,
And
and
the reason is 'cause I-
honestly, it's the first option. It's the option at the top. And
I know.
quite honestly,
I know it's because I
yeah,
couldn't figure out how to.
and I was just, yeah, I was just looking at that going, and because like I'm just going, well, where do I really fit? But what is the concept behind Never Give Up in whatever
the whole-
capacity, right?
Yeah. So the idea behind that one is like, we're looking for that story that gives somebody else as they're reading it. They're like, wow, I feel like quitting. I feel like quitting. But if this
Right.
person made it through that and then look at the results they got, right? It's through
Mm.
that story of the success that we had because we didn't give up, because we
Right.
kept moving forward, because we kept saying, I just got to keep going, because we were driven. Like I'm driven. And that's why 7 years basically felt like kind of beating my head against the wall as an entrepreneur. I tried so many different things, lost a lot of money and invested a
Right.
lot of money. And I was like, a lot of people would have quit. My first event that I held, which Shauna will love this. Like my first event that I held was 7 months into being an entrepreneur, and I lost $70,000. A lot of people would have quit and said, what am I doing?
Right.
I can't do this. But I had this, like, Les Brown talks about, you got to be hungry, right? You got to be hungry. Like
Yeah.
I was hungry, but I didn't know what I wanted to eat. So I
Gosh,
kept trying different
okay.
things to eat until I landed on the publishing. That's funny. I should tell him that one. That's funny.
No, there's a few possibilities, so it's just trying to weave. And then as far as it goes, curiosity then, because of, like, I'm a herbalist, and so I help people with getting at the root cause of why they have the symptoms that they do. So a few more questions as to, with this then, it doesn't have to be woven around my business, but it likely would be, because that's actually my story of not giving up. Like, and it's just, let's just put it this way. Today, when I was at the show, I was not the same person I was even 1 week ago at the show I was at. Like, I am evolving so rapidly, and who knows what story I've got by the time the book would be ready to come into play. So I, you were talking about the intuition. Well, that one's already been done, but that one was like, kind of like, yeah, I got some stories there too. So I'm just looking at these other titles going, where would I go? But I guess it would just be something that I would be ready if something came up later, if not one of these.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, so that's a great point there that you brought up. Ideally, you are incorporating your business into the story, somehow weaving that, because
Yeah.
one of the things we also offer for our authors are, again, I mentioned our goal is to get you out there as much as possible, to get your message out there. I want to see you getting clients through this process. And so one of the things we do is we offer to you to give away a free gift. And
Oh.
you would, if your story can kind of lead to that, not
Mhm.
lead to the free gift, because we don't have you do a call to action inside the chapter. You can do a call to action in your bio. But if your chapter reads in a way that they see that, oh my gosh, this person, I really connect with them and I want to reach out to them, or I would love to have their free gift, it just helps to add to that level of wanting to reach out to you. So when you
Yeah.
give your free gift, it gets them into your email ecosystem. And then of
Right.
course, from there, it's up to you to go through the process of the sales. But we want to get you in front of as many people as possible. And this is one of the greatest ways to do that, is to get them into that free gift portal. One of our books, actually the Wickedly Smart Women book, the volume 1, we're working on volume 2 now, is the volume 1 of it. We had over 500 opt-ins to the free gifts. So again, there's opportunities there. We don't know where they're going to go, but there are those opportunities. Some of some of the authors are getting clients out of being in the collaboration book with us.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay. Well, I'll do some thinking, but it's kind of like an offer that, as you said, like,
Yeah.
it won't be repeated. I think that's the safe one to say as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Latara, so you missed the part about, you said, Shauna, you might have missed when Lynda made her 60% off offer. You missed the part of her crazy offer. Her crazy birthday. I'm turning 60 tomorrow. So I was like, I'm going to do a 60% off for one day. Like it literally expires tomorrow, March 19th, 2023. I almost said 2013 at midnight Pacific time.
missed it.
It will expire at that time.
Yeah. Mhm.
So too bad I didn't have this offer, this idea when Sally did her presentation, because she could have given it.
So with the books that are listed here, how soon are all of these ones wanting to be accomplished? Like I'm seeing how many different options? 1, 2.
Yeah, so there was a
7 of
question
them.
there. You threw in a word that threw me for a loop. So the word was want. Want is today. Okay.
Ah,
Like my
sorry,
goal is to
right.
fill them right away. It doesn't
Okay.
always happen that way, unfortunately, though. So sometimes it can take anywhere from, the fastest I filled any books was a week. The
wow.
longest it took, one of them took 5 months. So it all
Okay.
depends on, how many people are interested in that particular topic. So with this
Sure.
Never Give Up book, this is the one, the reason I mentioned that one today in particular is because this is the one I would love to just like push to the forefront and get this one published as soon as possible, because this is literally my story, and I want to get my story out there as well as the other stories out there about never giving up. Today, the climate that we have, what's going on in the world, there are so many people who just feel like throwing in the towel. If we can give them that inspiration to keep going, then that's what I want this book to do, is to give people that inspiration to keep going, to keep pushing, to reach out to those mentors and coaches, to find those mentors and coaches if you don't have them in your life, right? That's what this book is all about.
So it might suit actually for where I'm at.
Yeah, never give up, Christine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been in business 35 years and it's still not a successful business, but I'm not giving up. And the
Wow,
people that
that's
I met-
amazing.
The people that I met today are
So
just going, this
important.
is why I do this.
Mhm.
The varying degrees of the conversations that I had. So it really might be the book that I would actually belong in, really.
Yeah.
Never give
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Because the earliest I can meet with you is the 27th on your calendar. And you could have the book filled before then.
I hope so. I'm hoping to have it filled by tomorrow. That's
Yeah,
my goal. Because when I
so-
get on Kimberly's LinkedIn Live, we're gonna sell it out, right, Kimberly?
Well, and I'm getting ready to email my tribe that I run of a bunch of
Oh, awesome.
coaches. Because my whole thing is, I truly believe that we lift each other up. And so the reason I formed the tribe was to help all of us who are new in this area, new to doing this. Many of us left other careers and such, because we had a passion for this, to support each other. And so this is just how I feel about them. Like, I'm thinking about, there's this guy, Carl Cyprian, look him up on LinkedIn. He posted something yesterday about never give up. He's an empowerment coach or something, and he's in Arizona. But I just thought about him because my husband and I, we all went to this coaching conference that cost a whole lot of money last April. When you're thinking about, I'm not going to have this kind of income anymore, but you take and do that kind of investment. And I met all these people, and I kept saying, Adrienne something, I don't remember her name now, but she talks, I learned this from her about having a tribe. When you want to do something and you want to move in it, bring other people with you, and you learn, and and we have a whole thing I wrote up for the tribe. But I think it's really important. So I was going to email them and say, if any of you want to talk to me, and there's some in Mexico, they're in California, a lot of people in California, and all over the country, actually. So I was going to ask you, doesn't have to be women for this book, does it? Because there are men in my tribe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Men and women. The only ones that are women specific are the ones that, like, we have the word woman, women in there. Other than that, we have men and women in a lot of our books.
Yes. And, I always say I have a thing about sales, but that's something I need to work on. But I wanted to give them this opportunity if they want the opportunity, no matter what it means for any of us, if they want the opportunity to be able to, because they have great things to contribute. And these are really good folks who are wanting to have impact. Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And I'd like to share my perspective on sales, if you all are open to that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So here's the thing about sales. I was terrified of sales, so much to the point that I gave everything away for free. I didn't charge. I mean, even when I ran my mastermind, my coach said you need to charge, at least charge $500 a month, she was saying. And when it came out of my mouth, it came out as $50. Okay. Like, that's how hard it was. And I didn't even raise the price. I never raised the price. And even though I kept, I have these coaches, I've had lots of coaches. I still have coaches. I have 2 coaches right now. So I highly believe in coaching, but I can only be coached so far at a time, right? And so in the money space, I had a lot of money issues to get through before I could make those sales. So they were coaching me on sales. They weren't coaching me on money mindset, which is what I really needed. So it took me about 7 years. That whole 7-year period was, a lot of that was the money mindset that I was working on through that time. But one thing I discovered is that I don't ever sell anybody anything. Did any of you ever feel like I sold you anything today? No, I talk about what we're doing. I share, I give information because, like, we need that information. And I give information to give you so that you can make an empowered decision about what you want, what's best for you. So once I realized that I never sell, that people actually buy from me, it created a whole different mindset within myself. I never have to sell anything. All I do, one of my mentors, he said, just tell your story. People will buy because of your story. The transformation that you've gotten through this process will help them to see that they too can get a transformation like that as well. And then they'll ask you, how do I buy? And so it's a completely different mindset. We never sell anything. People buy from us. How often do you Google? Just today, I was, there was something, we had our mastermind, and one of the women shows up and her camera was crystal clear. And I said, wow, look at the quality of that camera. What is that? And she tells us it's an Insta360 link. I wrote it down right here. It's an Insta360 link. And it was so clear. And she showed us how it'll follow her around, and it'll zoom in for her and zoom out, does all these really fancy things. So we said, so Latara posted a link in the chat. And then I immediately went and I bought an Insta360 link. She didn't sell it to me. The people who sell it didn't sell it to me. I was searching for something and I found it and I bought it. So when we come at sales from that perspective, and that I'm going to give information and I'm going to share with them the opportunity so that they can make an empowered decision. We're not car salesmen. They have a bad reputation, probably warranted, but they have a bad reputation because they're like, they want to sell you something because it's going to benefit them. For those of us who are along that heart-centered frame, that we're not into trying to feel like we're forcing somebody to do something, we don't have to do that. People will buy from us because we've shared with them the information and we're empowering them. They are making an empowered decision, completely different energy. You see how that works? How amazing that is? Yeah. Raising prices. Yeah. And raising the prices. So here's what I'll share with you. Have you guys heard of Grant Cardone? The 10X. Okay. So if you think about it, this is what I started doing is, let's say I would come up with a figure, let's say that $500. Like now I'm not scared to charge a lot of money. I actually gave somebody a quote for a book, $110,000 for one book for us to publish for her. And when I said the numbers, it rolled right out of my mouth because it had gotten easier and easier the more I started talking about what I do. But it really reflected to the confidence I have in myself to be able to deliver what she wants. Because I'm confident that I can deliver what she wants, I was able to quote a higher price. She wants to be a Wall Street Journal and USA Today bestseller. I can deliver that, but it costs a lot of money. So I had to charge, give her a number that was a high number. So as far as I mentioned that because to get to that level, it took me time, but it was really a matter of me having confidence in myself and what I can deliver more than anything. So when we raise our prices, it has to be congruent with who we are. Sometimes it's a matter of raising it by only $5. So I'll give an example. Amanda, she was one of my mastermind clients, and she's a bookkeeper, and she had been doing bookkeeping for like 20 years. She started working at Jamba Juice, became the bookkeeper for Jamba Juice, and then she went out her own. And she was charging $20 an hour as a bookkeeper. So I told her, I said, you got to raise your rates. That's too low. I said, but before you raise your rates, let me get in at the 20. I said, and so we laughed and she goes, okay, I can raise my rates. And then she was going to meet with a potential client. And I said, before you go talk to him, I want you to give me a call because I want to talk you through that conversation you're going to have with him. So we got on a call. We're on a call for like 5 minutes. I said, okay, now when he asks you how much it is, I want you to say it's $25, right? 20 to 20, just a small raise. Just a small raise. I want you to say it's $25. Okay, so say it to me now. Say it to me now. It's $25 an hour. It's $25. And so we got her pumped up. She goes into that call. She goes into that. It was an in-person meeting. When she got done with the meeting, which was about an hour later, she called me up. She goes, he hired me. I'm so excited he hired me. I said, that's awesome. You got your raise, $25. She goes, no, I told him it was $50 an hour. So she jumped in because she had confidence in herself. All I did was to help her to see who she is and the value that she has to offer as she walked into that call. So she started charging all of her new clients $50 an hour. And guess what she did? She fired all of those clients she was charging 20 because none of them would go to the 50. So she started with basically a clean slate with people who saw her value of $50 an hour. So that's where she is now. So really, it's a matter of just believing in ourselves and being able to show up as that, with that value, as that person, and having people also see that value. If we show up with a lack of confidence, people see that in us. If they see confidence, they say, I want to be part of that. So I see you unmuted me, Latara. Am I done? You shut me up.
We're a little bit over, but I just love listening to you talk. I'm just going to run through a couple of questions in the chat, a couple of questions and comments. Christine said, how many pages or words for a chapter?
Great question. Thank you. Some books are less, but the vast majority of our books are 3,000 words. One that we have coming up, we do specialty books once a year. This is where we do 1,000 words and it's like $500 to be in one of those books. But $3,000 for 3,000 words for the vast majority of our books. let's see.
And
And
then you
Christine, the
also get a
answer to your
bio,
question is
right?
yes. Oh, yes, and 225 words on your bio.
And you can have the call to action in that.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Right. Kimberly said coaches will tell you people tend to devalue if it is free. Yes, yes, yes. To the
You know,
abundance mindset.
I actually disagree with that. And I'm going to share why, because I know my value.
Mm,
I don't let other people set my value for me. I know my value. And if I do something for free, that's because I'm feeling like this particular item that I'm giving for free, that feels good for me.
mm,
And it's not because I'm scared to ask. See, here's the difference. Are we scared to ask for money? Is that why we're giving it away for free? Or are we giving it away for free because we feel like, I just want to give this? So to me, it's not about, I don't want other people to set my value for me.
You said it.
I know my own value.
Thank you for
That's
saying that. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much for saying that. Because that's what I've been saying, and that's how I feel. And my yes is to an abundance mindset, because if I am
Yes.
feeling abundant and I think that I can give something to you of value that will help you, that will contribute to your life, then that's a win-win for both of us.
Exactly.
But these coaches lately have been telling me that if you keep giving it away for free, people are going to devalue it. And I was saying, but no, because blah, 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 I know that this is really good, and they tell me it really is when they have the experience, But and I put Mina, the empowered woman, on here. That's probably one of her a little bit from her perspective, but she's really good in her whole business was built on helping women to feel empowered, and she just shifted over to more of that, what she calls digital CEO or digital CEO mindset. And her whole thing is really, she's shifting to mindset and that kind of thing now. So she and I have gone back and forth about the free thing, but she has a lot of good value for women and for men on LinkedIn and for all her programs.
Yeah. We can't give away everything, of course, but there's just, we do this once a month. We do this mastermind, that's 90 minutes of my time, right? And then we do the meet the authors. That's included as well. That's free. And we only do these things only for our authors. I don't even charge people on the outside for these because they're not invited into these particular projects. And so really for me, that abundant mindset is like, we talk about abundance mindset, but are we living an abundant mindset? We hear it all the time, but are those people that we're hearing it from, are they actually living it? This is one thing I started looking at about 1.5 years ago, because when I find myself feeling like I'm moving into a lack mindset, I check in with myself. I say, wait a minute, this is coming from a place of lack. And most of the time, I truly believe this, the vast majority of the time, the lack mindset that we're experiencing is tied to money. And if it's tied to money, why are we allowing money to control who we are, congruently speaking? As a human being and me serving my purpose does not include lack mindset at all. So how can I make sure that I remain in my integrity, that I remain in that space of abundance? Because if I'm living in abundance, I'm going to attract abundance. If I'm living in lack, I'm going to hold on to everything. And then I'm going to attract more lack is what I'm going to do. Who wants that? Right. So I give away a lot of stuff, but that, eventually maybe it gets to the point, like, let's say 6 months of giving away something for free. You start reaching out to those people that you gave it away for free. You said, hey, I'm just curious. I'm thinking of, I'm going to start charging for this. Thank you so much for going through this program or what have you. How much would you pay? Just ask them. How much would you pay? And you'll get ranges. Oh, $50, you'll get $500. You get a various range of pricing, but then that people will pay. And then you just put a number on it, and see what really happens, because people will say stuff, but they don't always pay stuff. That's a good one too. I'm full of them.
And I really do love that about you, Lynda, is that you always do have that abundance mindset, because you're always looking for win situations. It's not,
Yeah.
you're not just, you're not just out to make a buck. You're actually trying to make sure that everybody involved benefits mutually from whatever arrangement that you make. So I really love that about you.
Thank you. And it's not about the buck at all. You know, I love to mention about, oh my gosh, what's his name? The guy who created Microsoft. What's his name? Bill Gates. Bill Gates. So his mission at the beginning was that every household would have a computer. So he didn't charge very much money. He became the richest man in the world. He still is, like, every once in a while he goes back up there, right? It bounces back and forth. But it was, now so did Steve Jobs with, charging more money. But Bill Gates's mentality, Walmart mentality. Okay, now we might have some disagreements about Walmart and who they are and all that stuff. But thinking about the money aspect of it, they don't charge very much money, but they're one of the richest companies in the world. So if we look at it from that perspective, it's like, wow, the mindset is like, I'm not going to charge very much, but I'm going to help a lot more people. So for me, 5 million people, there's a lot of people out there doing the collaboration books that are charging a lot more than we're charging. There's also a lot out there that are charging a lot less than we're charging. And I don't know how they're staying in business, which I think it's awesome. But, I have this, like, I want to keep my business going, and I don't want to work my fingers to the bone anymore. I'm tired of that. So I do want to be able to make a living off of this business, right? So the numbers that we're coming up with are numbers that are working for, me and my husband, working so I don't have to go back to a 50th job, those kinds of things, right? We're working on everything and seeing how it all works. But it's awesome what happens when we come from that place of abundance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that we let's see. Kim said, that's my issue. I need to raise my prices. Thanks for that, Lynda. I'm just giving information. I need to remember that, my story. Kimberly said, I'm still working on the money mindset. I know these things theoretically and teach them to others. I just have to work on me. It is an offer and invitation. And Kim said, I love that about you too, Lynda. You want us all to succeed. Wonderful. Thank you for all of the amazing feedback. And thank you, Lynda, for being here and pouring so much attention and information and inspiration on all of us here. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I'm sorry.
And, yeah, unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. I wish we could just stay here all day because I'm having so much fun. But
I have a call in 5 minutes.
All righty. Well, thanks again, everybody, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow to how to get into your zone of genius. And Yvonne Larson's going to be talking about that, and hope you can join us tomorrow. And have a good night.
Oh, and Yvonne is amazing. You guys will absolutely love her. And Kimberly, I'll see you tomorrow morning on LinkedIn Live.
I'll message you because I'll send you some questions. I want to make sure, like if you approve those and say this, if I think of what to ask you, like, how many words in the book, how do you get in the code, all of that. So we can do it.
You got it.
All right.
Okay,
thanks.
cool. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. This has been a great session. We're all going to do so well, and it's wonderful.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.